Hey everybody, this is OMW Mario John, and we here with another episode of On My Way. And today I got my good friend Foster Liggins. He's the CEO of Rogue Inspiration. I actually worked with him on his brand for about a year and a half. He's my real good friend. We real close, and so he's doing a lot of good stuff. He comes from a pretty rough background. He grew up in like two households. His parents were split up. I know he had a lot of weight issues growing up as well. Didn't like school, things like that. But now he's the CEO of his organization, and he changed his life, man. He looked like a bodybuilder now. He went from being like insecure about his body to I call him, remember, Foster Liggins, David Goggins, Foster Goggins. You know what I'm saying? He real deal. You know what I'm talking when it comes to like hard work, willpower, and things like that. So I'm real excited to have him on and pick his brain for you guys. So just say what's up real quick, Foss.
How's it going, everybody? Mario, appreciate you having me on the show and everything. And yeah, man, it's a pleasure just even getting to sit down and talk to you. Because we're definitely in different places, but it's good. It's good to talk to you.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah. So we was working together in Oakland just about a couple months ago, a month or two. I had moved down here, back down to LA. He went back up to Washington. He's from the Pacific Northwest, and so yeah, it's good. I haven't seen him since then, so it's good to collaborate like this. And I'm always drinking these type of things, man. It look like soda, but it's not, y'all. Sparkling water, so don't judge me. Even if
Yeah.
you did, I don't care. I'm just letting y'all know. Um, but real quick, I got some questions about for you. I want to ask, like, tell me about your childhood and specifically like growing up in two different households and like the struggle that you had with your weight and also like not liking school. I want to hear about those things.
Yeah, definitely. So really growing up in two households, I didn't really know any different from growing up in two households because my mom and dad were split up before I was born. So
Mm.
I really kind of think of it. So when the only time I really was reminded of that was when I went to school and kids would say, "Hey, my parents are together and my parents are together." And then they would say, "What about your parents? Like, what are you guys gonna do? What are you gonna do with your mom and dad?" And I'm like, "Well, my mom and dad are divorced." And they're like, "Oh, that's bad. That's like," but I would always think of it. I was like, that is really not a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my dad, I would get to see my dad, every other weekend, and I would get to, and my mom was a great role model, and my dad is a great role model, and they gave me, I think, everything I needed plus more. So
Yeah. So it was never like a really big deal for you because you was used to it growing up like that, and like you said, you had good role models around you. So it was like you were sort of happy. It was cool for you. But the only time you
yeah,
really noticed that difference was when you went to school and everybody was kicking it with their parents, and you didn't have like that two-person household. And I could just say I had the same experience because growing up, like I never met my mother and my dad. He's been in prison since I was 7 years old. So my grandma was the one, who would come to my parent meetings and everyone would have their parents and it was like my grandma coming in. Low key, I'll tell you, like I was embarrassed just because everyone had their parents and I didn't have my grandma and it's like, man, she old.
yeah,
I shouldn't have been, but at that age, like I was. So I definitely feel like that when people are
hmm
like, yeah, I got mine, I got my parents, what you gonna do? And it's like I just got my grandma, you know what I'm saying?
right,
Which was a blessing, but I know
yeah,
that feeling because everyone else they got their parents and you want that too, but you don't. But you was like you was cool. You was
yeah,
cool. It was good because
yeah.
you got to see your pops all the time.
Yeah, I got to. I mean, my dad is great. His wife, we had some struggle. We had definitely our struggles growing up.
Yeah.
Uh, Especially when I moved there, my sophomore year of high school. But what I would say is between my dad and my mom, they never let me see any of the BS that was going on. I don't know, behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They never put me in the middle of anything like that. So
Right.
I was blessed. I was blessed because of that. I was blessed because I didn't have to grow up in a house, in two households that I saw constant fighting and constant tearing down of, whether it was my dad tearing down my mom or my mom tearing down my dad.
Cool.
Yeah, they
so they kind of like try to keep it healthy for you. Like you said, it could have been some stuff going on the backside of things, but they kept all that stuff away from you. And I would say that's some good parenting, man. They wanted to keep you out of the mess of things. So kudos to them for sure, bro.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I mean, did it affect you like growing up? Like, was it hard? Did it affect you, you think?
Yeah, because I think what it really affected me in the negative way was I didn't really know my identity as a kid. Like I didn't know, like I had my stepmom who's Thai and Native American, Tlingit. They're a tribe in Alaska.
Yeah.
And then so she would introduce me to things and everything, which I'm really blessed about, because she would introduce me to different cultures. And that's why I'm willing to accept, I feel like, different cultures in that too.
For sure.
But I didn't know how to, growing up as a kid, like, especially growing up in a place like Washington, I just didn't really understand like what it meant to be, like how to identify as myself, like what am I, what do I identify as, and who is Foster. Like I felt like it was just like, Foster, go do this, and it's just like I never understood what that even meant. I never even asked like, why am I doing this and everything. So.
Right. And one thing that just jumps out to my mind is you had told me growing up, everyone said you should be a teacher, right? And then you actually went ahead and started like training for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that goes to show, like, yeah, you really was kind of lost, and you were just listening to what other people was saying. And a real big part of your brand is Rogue Inspiration is like finding yourself, right? Discovering yourself, thinking for yourself. Yeah. So I mean, so how did that come about? Like, how did you realize that you was letting other people sort of like think for you, or you didn't really know who you were, and you had to like muster up the energy and willpower to start thinking and doing for yourself?
Yeah. Just to kind of take it back to even like the school days and me growing up as a kid, it's like as I forget what age I hit, but I remember I was a fifth grader, and I remember I played baseball, right? And I had this baseball card, and as a fifth grader, it said like I was 120 pounds, and that's a big fifth grader, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, from then I remember I suffered with weight issues, and I remember this kid, he called me, he said, you're fat. And I was like, and I punched him. And my stepmom always told me, she said, she like snatched me and she said, why did you punch him? And I said, because he said I was fat. And he's like, you are, but you can change that. And I was like, And so like I was crying and everything like that. And I remember it was like, all right, I guess I can change that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can change that. And then fast forward when I got to middle school, and I just didn't, I was just like, why am I doing this schoolwork and everything? And I just want to come to school and hang out with my friends. And this kind of phase lasted until I was about I want to say sophomore year in high school. So I like failed 5 of my 8 classes of my freshman year of high school. And it was setting me back. So I went to go live with my dad. And I noticed when I moved with my dad, there was a lot of pent up anger that kind of, I ended up lashing out at them. And we kind of talked about that, but I just like, cause I felt like they made my mom feel like she was the reason why. And I
Wow,
was
that
like,
was kind of like the reason why you was going through things was your mom's fault, and that's your mom. So you're not gonna take that. You're not gonna you ain't not, you respect your mama. So anybody talking bad about your mom, you're like, hell no, nah, we going to war.
yeah, I love my mom so much. Yeah.
I know you
So
do.
like,
That's right.
yeah. And so it was like that. And also that was the first time in my life that I felt like my dad was like on a huge pedestal to me. He was huge, right? And then I saw it, and then I said, and then when I moved in with him, I didn't feel like I was defended on things, and I felt like stuck up for. He like, I felt like his superhero, his cape fell off to me, like right there, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. So and for all that time that it was pent up aggression, and I was trying to take accountability for myself. I was saying, hey, it was me who failed those classes. It was me. It's me who decides to do this. It's me who decides to do that. Not them. Not, I don't know why I'm doing this, but this is the reason why. It's me. So
Where'd that
just
accountability come from? I mean, at that age, what, sophomore year of high school? Like, was it? Because I know your pops, he was like a leader. He was like a police chief or something, right?
yeah, he was
Some big.
A captain, a
Right.
police
So
captain.
did he help instill that accountability? Because that's real young. For you real young, you what, 15, 16
Yeah,
years old, to be like, hey man, I gotta take
yeah,
accountability for this. Was that from him or
yeah.
where'd that come from?
I think it was from, yeah, I think it was from both of my parents. Actually, all four of my parents. I mean, I had my stepdad, my mom. I mean, and I think specifically, I think, yeah, it did come from my pops, my dad, and he was always on me about like understanding what it is that you do. So I always questioned things that I did, but I still sometimes I did them. You know what I mean? Like for some reason I did those things and I didn't understand why then, but it was probably because I just was so confused with who I was as a person. And growing up, I just didn't know. A lot of people were telling me this, that, and like you were saying, like the whole teaching thing too. I just didn't. I was just like, nah. And I think it was just me lashing out. So, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Again, like how'd you find out who you were? Because it sounds like a
oh yeah,
big thing with you is you were kind of lost
yeah.
on who you were. So how'd you find that you?
It was literally. So a lot of it was I ended up uh, wanting just to change. It was when I was about 22, 23. I was just like this, I'm done. I'm done with this. So I remember when I was 22, 23, it started to happen. I started questioning. Then I got fast forward to 24, 25. I was like, all right, I need to start getting to the gym because I like I said, I suffered from weight issues, and that suffers in confidence issues, and that suffers from deeper issues. So I started getting to the gym. I started reading books, the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, Black Privilege. Let's see, the four agreements, things of that nature. And then also the really the biggest thing, one of the biggest things was I took myself out of environment. So luckily my parent, my dad and everything were going on in 2017, they took me to Thailand and they took me to Indonesia. And that was a lot of Buddhist temples there. And I was like, wow, this is like it's very spiritual and enlightening. And my stepmom, she told me, I remember she was saying that it's like you have to start thinking of more positive things about yourself. And I was thinking just like that's when it just all clicked. Is all those things kind of clicked was the mental, spiritual, and then the physical. And then that was what created me, and that's what spawned Rogue Inspiration and birthed something I think beautiful.
That's crazy. So yeah. Was it like while you was in Thailand that came about, or was it like after Rogue Inspiration?
So I mean, while I was in Thailand, I feel like it all came together for me to like the vision all came together. but it actually came together in Portland. Was Portland. It came together that that Rogue Inspiration was something that I wanted to do. So my friend, he helped me create the logo and everything, and then, but I realized like I have to do something for myself to make this brand not just become just a piece of paper or a hat. I have to make it come alive. I have to give it breath. So I feel like all those things that happened just aligned, and it brought something and it birthed something that was great. And that first thing was me, and then the second thing was the second thing that came from that too was Rogue Inspiration also.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then let me ask you this. I mean, this is it's a little personal, but I mean, you had a partner, a female partner, and you basically like broke up with her because you wasn't on the same page. And the only reason I want to bring this up is because a lot of people in my audience and my community, like we stay with people who aren't the best for us. But you, at least from what I know, like I said, everybody, he was a good friend of mine. I know a lot about him. We had like deep conversations, and at least from what I know, like you and your partner split because y'all wasn't on the same page, right? Do you feel comfortable talking about that?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually comfortable talking about that now. I believe that not everybody's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So she's an amazing person and everything, but I just don't think there's a time where it's like, all right, you are going two separate ways, and it's okay to be like, all right, we have to be done with this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's okay to be, it's okay to say, I still have love for you and you still have love for me. But the thing is though, when we're together, it is literally making us hate each other. It's going to make us resent each other. It's going to make us not do the best things in life that we would want to do. And it's going to also reflect on the work that you want to do for the world. It's the breath, the things that you want to breathe into life. Because if you have something that's so big, like a relationship, and I was dating this girl for 5 years, it's just like you have to understand like that's going to have some effect on what you're trying to do. So what I would say is, it is, you have to understand like it's okay to just let things go sometimes, and it's gonna hurt because as much as I try to say, oh yeah, it doesn't bother me. Of course it bothers me. I was with her for 5 years, and we were up there for ups and downs and sideways and all this stuff. But what I can say is you should always learn from something, because I learned how to be parts of me that I share with her. I will always have, because I'm able to just like, I'm okay with being alone sometimes. Like I'm okay with just like, all right, like I need to get some work done. All right, this is quiet. I'm alone. I can be in my thoughts, and sometimes it's a scary thing, but it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Like, yeah. Okay, good. I mean, there was a bunch of real good information there. Like you said, what really hit me was more like, man, like you can love someone, but when y'all together, like it don't work, and it just causes everything around you to sort of go to turmoil. Because you're right, like a relationship is a big part of your life. It's like love is a sacred thing, and when it's your partner, it's like you spent all your time, your emotional and mental energy on that person. And when it's not a good thing, it's, I hate to use the word, but it's toxic. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it throughout your body when it's not going well, and when you on your purpose, it does interfere with that purpose. So it's just like, y'all, it's not worth being someone if you guys aren't happy together. And a lot of the times, the reason you guys can't be happy together is because you haven't healed individually. And it doesn't mean that you guys are going to be away from each other forever, but at least what you got to do is like take care of yourself, because it's so cliche. I mean, you got to love yourself before you can love someone else. And I know they say it all the time and people would just dismiss it, but it really is true, because it's like if you don't love yourself, you just gonna put hurt on your partner, and that's just gonna hurt both of y'all and really like your whole life, even everybody else around you. So it's real important, like, not to be with somebody that isn't on the same page as you, someone that you're always arguing with. I mean, of course, there's ways that you can try to fix it, but if none of that works, like, you got to take the time to learn more about yourself, fix yourself, and chase your dreams. So thank you for sharing that. I know it hasn't been too long since y'all split up, so that's why I had to ask, like, if it was okay for you to talk about it. So I'm glad you did. I just know a lot of my audience, they deal with that sort of stuff, so I wanted to make sure we could hash that out a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
As in regards to the brand, like, some of my people, they might be wanting to start a brand. So what goes into building a brand like Rogue Inspiration?
Yeah,
what kind of work goes into
it? Basically, it's all. I mean, the first part, what I would say is, what is your vision that you have? Like, what is the vision that you have? Because a brand, it's easy just to make a t-shirt and a hat, but if you have a whole vision, you can make that brand, that this turn into something that's like goes into different places, like the heart. It hits the heart, it hits the mind, and it makes you think. So that's the things that you want to do with a brand, is you want to make sure that when you look at it and you say, okay, what is that? What does that mean? Okay, why did you come up with that? And you kind of know those things. So yeah, and then just you want to make sure you have the logistics. Like, go get a seller's permit. You know what I'm saying? They're only $100. It's really cheap. You go get a seller's permit. You go to a wholesaler, right? Go to a wholesaler. You get the clothes for cheap. You take it to someone, you like a screen printer. Get it a screen printer, and then you get your vision printed on the shirt and everything. There you go. You can sell them and then you can sell.
You got you a clothing brand.
Exactly. And it's legit because you got a seller's permit. You know what I mean? And then all you have to do is really work on the website, the little things, the social media sites, anything, like the connections that you want to build. Do I want it in stores? Do I only want to sell on online, like e-commerce sites? Do I want to do who do I want the face of the brand? Do I want to be the face of the brand? And then you just have to keep asking those questions, and then it just keeps going and going and going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just what you it's what you want to do. Then, once you get a little bit more legit, you go and get that trademark, and make sure.
I know you filed for yours. How's that coming along? Is it coming?
Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. So I'm still waiting on it. It still takes a long time. But the thing is, it takes like 6 to 8 months, I believe. Yeah. But just go and do it. It's only people think, oh, it's like thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's what I thought. But I just talked to someone, and it's only $275, to get a trademark.
That's not bad at all, y'all. And what's the benefits of having a trademark? Having your logo, your brand trademark.
Yeah, nobody can use your logo. If somebody uses your logo, you're getting paid. So that's what I'm saying. That's, what I mean? Like, and that makes you legit too. Because so if you approach companies and everything like that, you could say, this is a trademark brand. This is what I do. I work with, community organizations. I do this, this, and this. They say, oh, wow, I like that.
They know you're serious. They know you're official. You got that. It's like you got that badge, just like you got that Instagram blue check mark. You know what I'm saying? You verify, baby.
Right. Exactly.
And you know what? I hear another thing as far as a trademark. Like sometimes what people do is they'll take your trademark before you trademark it, so it'll make it hard for you to establish your brand. So it's important to do that ASAP. You know what I'm saying? Like someone might see, hey, Rogue Inspiration is coming up. I'm about to trademark that shit, and so then whenever you use it, they start suing you, but that's yours. Like you made that, you know what I'm talking about? So it's important like to get that ASAP if you don't want anybody like stealing your ideas as well. But those are some good points. So first of all, it shows you official, and if anybody uses your stuff, man, you getting paid.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Somebody uses it, you get paid. And it's just nice to have. It's like, oh, yep, I'm bossing up. So
Right.
that's what we want to do. So, yeah.
And then so let's going back to like what it takes to build a brand. I know I cut you off a little bit when you was talking about trademark, but is there anything else you would say like goes into building your brand, building a clothing brand?
Yeah, visually you want it to you have to know like different we went over this and stuff. You have to know your different lanes, like who is the customers that you want to kind of tap into,
Your target audience,
the target market, yes, you want to know that. You like if you want to target these people, then this is what you have to do, is you have to know your audience. So you have to be in those type of communities, those type of areas, but you also have to know what they like what do they like, not just what they like, because this is something that you can learn even just by taking like a small marketing class, is that it's what they need. It's the need. If you could fill that gap, if you could fill in that build that bridge or fill in the hole,
they're gonna like you. They're gonna buy from you. Exactly. Yeah, you can learn it on YouTube, man. I'm working on marketing and branding all the time, and it's like a big thing is to find out your target audience's problems, and then you speak to their problems. And it's really important to know your target audience so that you can cater your message to them, because your brand's not going to resonate with everybody in the world. There's 7-8 billion people. Everyone's different. There's little groups, you know what I'm talking about, of people. So you got to be able to speak this language. Like mine is for basically like the hood, the ghetto, you know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to give them the message. So the way I talk, it's not going to resonate with people in Beverly Hills, you know what I'm saying? So I know my audience, I talk a certain way, and I bring people on who talk a certain way, who come from certain backgrounds to resonate with my brand. And I try to ask these questions to bridge that gap between what people want and how to get there. So that's why it's important, y'all, to know your target audience. So it's like if you starting a business, if you trying to do the clothing brand, like know who you're aiming towards. That way you can market effectively. You can tell your story effectively. So thank you for that. And I just want to throw that in there because that's important. You know, we hear it all the time. Find your niche. Find your niche. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? And it's important. It's very important, again, just because it makes everything more effective, and your brand, your message just resonates with the people a lot more. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
It kind of, to expand on that, it's basically like if you're let's just say it's basically like, what barbershop do you want to be in, basically?
Oh, like, you know what I'm saying? I like that. I don't want to go to Supercuts. I want to go to Keep It Real phase.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to go to the Cut Above or something. I want to, you know, it's like you got to know. It's like, what barbershop do you want to be in? Because, you know, in the barbershops you're going to get that barbershop talk. So it's like, what do you want? How would you like your haircut? Or would you like, you know, something else? You know what I'm saying? So
I like that analogy. That's good, bro. That's real good. That's real good. Anything else you want to expand on as far as like building the brand?
No. But I would like to open it up to anybody who wants to start a brand. Just like hit me up on my Instagram or anything, or email anything. I do not mind. I'll give any knowledge.
Well, yeah, we'll give you information at the end. We're gonna give you information where y'all can contact them. But I want to ask now, like, you big on being uncomfortable. Like I said, y'all, me and Foss, we spend a lot of time together, and bro, like he's all about being uncomfortable. He's always said yes to every opportunity that was presented to us. Like I said, I worked on his business with him. So every time someone came up to us with some sort of proposition, some type of opportunity, it was yes. And as far as exercise, like my boy was hard on exercise. Like I remember he was doing like 13 miles. He like, when it's hot, he want to run just to like push himself. He want to do more. So it's like, tell me, and you really pushed me to get out my comfort zone. I remember one time you was like, I'm trying to get out my comfort zone every day or something like that. It was something along those lines. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what I got to do. So tell me a little bit about getting out your comfort zone and pushing yourself.
Um, everybody who's successful, I feel, gets out their comfort zone. None of them ever went and just like, I'm successful because I'm comfortable around the people that I know, or I can, be around the people I know and be successful. Like, it's just like, if you don't have something, you can always get it, but you're going to be uncomfortable, and uncomfortable is going to be a sign that when you're uncomfortable, that's a sign of growth. It's like, oh man, like, I don't know any of these people, but all right, I'm gonna get to know every one of these people. It's like you have to treat like business opportunities. I feel like you have to like, if you're going to network events, you have to treat it like you're going to a party. Like, you want to know everybody in the party. You want to be the life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want everybody to know who you are. Like that guy Foster, like, he's kind of an interesting dude. Like, what's up? What is it? What, like, oh, he told me about this and that and this. He's cool. Yeah, yeah. And then that, they start spreading your name and everything. You always want to be uncomfortable, but you always want to carry yourself as if you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's who. You don't know. You never know who has something that could help you and push you forward.
For
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Push you to something that you want to be. So I just feel like just being open-minded, and just being like, all right, if I'm uncomfortable now, like someone's gonna, eventually see me, and this is gonna get me to my place of where I want to be comfortable, because I don't want to be comfortable now. I want to be comfortable when I'm on that mountain and see all the stuff that has came to life because of my of the seeds that I planted. So
right, of my willingness to be uncomfortable.
Yes,
it's like I put in all the work up front. I made myself uncomfortable. I went through the pain, I went through the cuts, and I went through the vines and stuff like that. And going through all that stuff, it hurt. But at the end is when you have freedom and you allowed to be comfortable and you're chilling on that mountain and you're just like, wow, it felt good.
Mm-hmm.
All of that pain and all of that uncomfortability was worth it. Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
100%. It's all worth it, because you're gonna eventually get to that place where you're like, dang, man, this is great. And
paid off. I like that, bro.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. And the thing is, you want the people that you love the most to be there right with you, because it's like, that's what you want to do. I feel like if you're not fighting for that, then you're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not fighting for your people, then you gotta think that over too, because it's not just you. It's like, I want to be able to have these conversations, with our kids and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, get uncomfortable, get gritty, be that absolute hustler that you want to be. You know what I mean? So go out there and do it.
Right. It's just like, just do it, man. Like, no, and it's hard to say, man. It's so hard to say. It
is.
It's just do it. But you got to start somewhere and realize what I like to go back to is like the growth mindset, man. You can literally learn anything as long as you're willing to put in the work. Anything you want to do, you can learn, you can do, but it do take some work, y'all. Like, we want these things, and people just, it's like wishes if you're not willing to put in the work. So it's like, if you really want something, man, decide on that and put in that work. Like, it's hard, it's gonna be hard, but I said this before, like, it's hard to be broke, it's hard to be rich. Which hard are you gonna choose, G?
Mm-hmm.
Personally,
yes.
I'm gonna choose the hard rich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose the hard successful, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, would you rather just be broke, or put in a little work and be rich? And really, like, it's satisfying knowing that you faced your fears, you got uncomfortable. It's satisfying, like you say. Like, I never heard it like that. Like how you said, putting all that work, going through all that uncomfortability to finally end up and be happy with yourself because you did it. And it's like, it kind of goes back to that delayed gratification. They say the most successful people in the world are the ones who can delay gratification. They can say no to something right now for a benefit in the future. And that's sort of what it is. It's putting in the work now so that you could be happy at the end. And I think for my listeners, that's going to be huge. Y'all just like put in the work. I know it's hard to say. I know it is. Even if you don't have time, like make time after work to 1-2 hours, put in that work, wake up a little earlier, put in that work, build something for yourself and your family because it's going to pay off at the end. Again, you can be broke or you could be rich. You choose. So it's like, you know, I mean, it's up to you. I'm not judging you. And it don't matter if people are, fuck them. But what I'm saying is, it's just for the people who are trying to get somewhere. And it's like, if you want to get somewhere, just go for it and put in the work, y'all. For real. Yes. That's really all it takes. And along the way, even if you don't know what to do, along the way, you're gonna learn. With Google now, man, you're gonna learn. All it takes is a Google search, like, hey, how to start a clothing brand. A bunch of answers are gonna come up. You start doing stuff. Some shit's not gonna work, some shit is, but it's gonna lead you to different answers as long as you continue to work. So it's like, y'all just work, just Google something. And of course, it's hard, especially coming from our community. Like, we have emotional issues, shit like that. Yeah, we do. But just, keep going is all I can say. Keep going. Because just one more time, being broke is hard, being rich is hard, man. Which one you want?
Yes.
And then, so do you have any advice for my audience? You got any advice for the people, anybody listening? Like, as far as building a brand, transforming yourself and getting out your comfort zone?
The advice I would say is don't be afraid. It doesn't make you any less of a person if you ask for help. It doesn't make you any less of a person, man, woman, or anything if you just ask for help. And usually if you ask for help and you mean it, you will receive it. You will receive help, and they'll push you in the right direction. Even if they can't give it to you, like just give it to you, they will push you in the right direction. So
okay.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's a good one. Okay.
Yep. That's what I gotta say.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you want to touch on before we go? No,
man, I appreciate the conversation, and this is a great format. I love it.
Good, brother. Thank you for coming on such short notice. I really appreciate it. And just before we hop off, where can the people find some of that Rogue Inspiration merchandise? Where can people contact you if they have any questions on getting ripped, on building a brand? You know what I'm talking about? Where can they find you?
So Rogue Inspiration, my website is roginspiration.com. And then you can go to roginspiration_. You can go there, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and just hit me up, DM me, and I will reply.
Cool, y'all. So y'all know where to find him, man. He got some new merchandise coming out real soon. Quality is superb. It got a real good message and something we didn't talk about, man. Show them the logo real quick. I want to tell them about this. Look at this, y'all. So it's a light bulb. It's a light bulb, but it's broken and it's still shining. And what that represents sort of is all of us, how we all sort of broken, but we can still shine. See that? It's like every single one of us on this planet, we're broken, but we can still shine. Remember that, y'all, when you're going through something that's like, hey, yeah, this is hard. Yeah, I went through a lot, but it's like I can still make it. I can still make something to myself. And that's what I love about the brand. And that's sort of like the essence of it is self-discovery, like accountability. And by wearing Rogue Inspiration, you make a promise to love yourself. You define yourself through your own light. Only you know how you truly need to be loved, and allowing anyone else to create that definition would only be a disservice to you guys. So you define yourself, y'all. You decide who you're going to be. You decide who you are. And on that note, peace. All right, brother.